Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and let me take two. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Gran Turismo live stream. I didn't realise I was live there because the PlayStation didn't tell me that I was live, so we've got off to a good start as always. Anyway, trying to be more professional. Tonight we are racing in the Ultimate Racing League here at Dragentail in Croatia. It's a made-up track. It is Gran Turismo's attempt at creating a future classic. I don't think they've succeeded, but this track does have some very notable features. Not only the stunning scenery, but some very challenging corners. And it's made even more difficult by the fact that we're going to be running the layout in reverse. So with a lot of these fictional tracks in Gran Turismo, we can drive them in either direction, and this does some very weird things to the way that the track flows and the way that you sort of experience the track, because it was clearly designed for the forwards direction, but we're going to be taking it backwards. So, I'm going to be doing a few laps in virtual reality to talk you around the track, especially because some of our viewers aren't familiar with Gran Turismo, so this might be your first time seeing this track. So I'll be driving around from the driver's eye view in virtual reality in my Lamborghini Huracan, and it is a detuned Huracan, 290 horsepower, but it is a race car spec car, so it's super lightweight with racing tyres, so it's not a slow car by any means of the imagination. And without further ado, I'm going to get on with it and talk you around this lap. So, we'll switch over to VR as soon as we hit the pit lane exit. That's limitations in Gran Turismo. Here we are in VR. Now, I think on some of these streams the camera position is a little higher than what I'm actually sat, so just bear in mind that what I'm actually seeing with my eyes is probably slightly lower than what you're seeing, but if I turn my head around and look out of the windows, that is basically what I'm seeing. I should probably not look around as I'm driving because I'm going to crash. We are coming up to the first notable feature of this track. It is the death chicane. I'm going to take it super slow here. That is the death chicane. We will be taking that nearly flat out in the race. There's just a tiny lift. Another quirk of this track is what I call the never-ending braking zone. You've got to brake and drift the car. You see there I've got a four-wheel slide, because what we've got there is a corner that opens out when you're taking it forwards, but when you're taking it backwards that corner really narrows up and tightens. Now we've got a horrible blind flat out right over a crest, flat. We want to back off here, and I've actually lost the back end there. I lost the back end, I had to gather it up, but I was going to say we've got this horrible series of switchbacks. It's given me a penalty, which I think is a bit unfair because I was quite slow through there as I was trying not to crash. We've got a reasonably easy corner here where we just nip across the rumble strip, run out wide. The easiest corner on the track is this one. There we go, that was easy. But then we've got another interesting corner here, a corner that falls away from you and then tightens. So this corner here, it falls away here and then tightens into this apex, and it's followed by, I'll come back to this in a second. It's followed by a very long straight, and speed down this straight is super important. And I've just demonstrated there the other feature of this track. The curbs on this track are very, very dangerous. And what happened there is that the inside of my wheel hit one of the serrations on the curb and it got the car airborne. And this is just one of the tropes of this track. If you look over at those curbs, you'll see that they've got a little ridge across them, and when the car hits that ridge, it goes airborne and you have an almighty crash. So there's plenty to deal with as I drive around, and I'm actually dealing with my headphones falling out, and I've lost audio because my headphones are no longer in my ears, so I'm now driving without sound. Great. Braking just before the 50 in a straight line, ease off the brakes, and a couple of stabs to get it in there because it tightens up. I've actually got some sound, thank God, and we'll do a couple of flying laps here just to give you a feel. So Again, we've got this blind right-hander. I turn in just after the 50. And this time, I've got that right. You want to be opening this corner out. So you sacrifice the corner before. And you see the curb there, how the car bounced. It's not the fastest way through there, but it's so difficult to judge your turn in. And you see I've lost a couple of tenths versus my personal best. My personal best, by the way, was set in VR. In VR this weekend, I'm about a second off my fastest pace outside of VR. This is a track where I think VR is actually sometimes a little bit easier because some of these corners are more visible. And this time, I've not had the understeer through the mid-corner there, like I did on the previous lap. We'll keep going and we'll try and put in a competitive time. I'll try and put my headphones back in. There we go, headphone back in. And let's try and do a decent lap now. Braking on the 100. Down into second. Hug the inside of that curb and then on the power as early as you can, because you've got a nice long straight now. You want to be maximising your speed down this straight. So you've got to get a smooth exit from that corner. Now for the death chicane. Let's see how brave we can be. Oh, and I've hit the barrier. I'm in the wall. I was going to say, did you hear the slide? I got a massive slide of oversteer there and clouted the wall because I couldn't gather up the oversteer in time. So that's what we're going to be competing against tonight, is the walls, not against other competitors. Everyone up and down the field is commenting that there will be accidents tonight. This is a track that is brutal. It is a killer. And you can see there, getting the car up on two wheels. I want to be as close to that ridge as I can. You see the ridge there down on the curb. You want to be as close to it as possible without going over it. If you go over it, if you touch it, that's it, goodbye. Having to get out of the throttle there slightly, just picking up some understeer. And look at how the car vibrates as well over these curbs. It really does shake the car side to side. Let's see if we can get a better turning across than this one this time. This looks better. Yes. But again, I hit one of those curbs. This time I was able to gather the car up. You really do need to stay off them. But it's not a choice of whether you stay off them or not a lot of the time, because if you pick up a bit of oversteer or understeer and the car doesn't end up where you think it's going to end up, then you end up in that trouble. Let's go for one more. I'm just going to take a slightly later turn in this time because I want to just see if I can get a smoother exit. I think that was actually pretty good, but I'm hoping that the car doesn't bobble this time. Let's see. Not bad, not bad. I had to go down a gear outside of VR. That is flat in 5th gear. But a really good turn in there. I didn't lose much minimum apex speed there. That's the key to that corner, is your minimum apex speed, because it then influences your speed up the hill here. We've only got 290 horsepower to play with in this car. And that's about as brave as I can be there. Let's see, is this a good lap? It's not a bad lap. Get on that power as early as possible. Could have been maybe closer to the barrier on the inside. You want to really hug that barrier. And let's use all of the track. Nice. Good exit. And my phone's ringing. I can't answer it. I've told people I'm on stream, please don't phone me when I'm on stream. So I'm not answering that. If you can hear it in the background, I'm sorry about that. I can't see the phone because I'm in virtual reality. But there we go. A 150.48, that's not bad. That's not bad. I'm going to keep going. I want to just see, can I take the death chicane flat? So let's just look at my sector times there. I I lost a 10th in the final sector as well. But let's see. I want to keep going. I'm not going to race in VR come what may, but no, just understeer and clouted the barrier, but clouted it very gently, if there is such thing as a gentle clout. There's a good and a bad way of hitting a barrier, but it's cost me a couple of tenths. But anyway, that is the lap guide. So join us at 7:45 tonight. We'll have 2 races tonight, as well as 10-minute qualifying. Race 1 is a sprint race, where it's all out, every man for himself. The second race is reverse grid. We haven't had one for a while, because I missed the last one due to holiday, and the week before was an endurance race where we don't have them. So come back and watch both races tonight. Guarantee it'll be more exciting than the Monaco Grand Prix if you was watching that. Not only because the racing's more exciting, but also I'm a better commentator than Martin Brundle. What else is there to say about it, really? I hope that I do well. I hope that you come and watch. So I'm going to finish this lap just for the sake of it. Whoa! And I got some oversteer that time. And there's the ridge on the curbs, and we're going to end there. So come back 7:45 tonight to watch 2 races, and I look forward to seeing you tonight, and hopefully we can win. See you later.